Welcome back, my friends. We are back in studio. It's Garden America. Brian Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Good to be back in familiar surroundings here as we went from the outdoors to the indoors, and we're hoping things are going to go just peachy keen today. Tiger Palafox, again, I'm Brian Main, John Bagnasco. John, good to see you here. You're up and ready to go. In fact, John was the first one here today, and when I arrived, he was in the parking lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, already.
Dang,
and then he said he got here last night. He camped out there.
Camped out there.
He was so excited.
Just so excited to be back here.
I was here at 6:45.
6:45.
Yeah.
I pulled in about 10 to 7.
Hey, our San Jose friend Tanya said that she's back in the USA. She was in Amsterdam and Norway.
Oh,
was
she the one that asked about places to visit?
Well, she had maybe, I don't know, but she had a family reunion in Norway.
And she told us before she left, because didn't she ask us, we were doing a broadcast at the nursery.
She asked about places to go in Amsterdam or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
and you gave her an idea, but that wasn't a very nice part of town.
I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys noticed in the newsletter that she sent a picture of her plumeria blooming.
Yes, I did see that.
And that was the plumeria that she got the cutting
from
the guy
really?
across the street from
Look
your
at
nursery.
that go. Nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy how sometimes plumerias will bloom so early and then some just won't bloom.
Oh, you know what I've learned about them? You can't really rely on anything. They're very fickle. Because you're right. Because mine didn't bloom until, maybe a month or so ago.
Yeah.
It just come on, are you going to do anything?
And
I said,
you
John
get
a
envy
picture.
because then there's all these people posting these plumeria flower blooms.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes.
I really just envy the leaves.
Just having them grow.
It would be nice to have leaves.
Go ahead.
I was up at California Rare Fruit Grower. California Rare Fruit
Growers
Nursery.
Association.
No, it wasn't an association. It was something. It was like a nursery, and they're up in near Fallbrook area. Like I can't remember exactly where it was, but they had a ton of plumerias at this nursery too, and they were growing great. They were out there in kind of the northeast county as well. Not just they were.
You're talking about is it Jack's Jungle?
No, not Jungle Jacks.
Jungle Jacks.
No, this was California Rare Fruit
Growers.
Nursery. Or growers.
I think that's what I've always. Anyway.
Yeah. So, I was picking up some trees for a customer, and they were growing great out there. It was nice.
There were some things that we need to talk about today.
Need to clean up or just talk
about?
about?
Yeah, one was it was last week, I think, we were talking about mulches, right?
Yes.
And you were talking about how you liked gorilla hair.
Correct.
And we, sometimes when we start talking, you don't think of the scope of the whole subject because we have limited time, right? And plus, we have short attention spans.
It's like hearing one part of the conversation.
Yeah,
right.
But what we've neglected to do, Tiger, was to let people know about if you're in a fire-prone area, to check with your local guidelines. Like CAL FIRE has restrictions, and you're not even allowed to use gorilla hair in Fallbrook.
Right.
And one of their restrictions is no mulch or plants within 5 feet of the house. Well, you could have plants, I guess, but no mulch within 5 feet of the house.
Uh-huh.
No mulch that can burn.
No. Yeah.
So you could have rock or cement or something.
I don't know if they call that mulch.
No, but if you have a walkway around your house.
Yeah.
And then there's different zones. Like after 30 feet, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
And then there's
because embers can't jump.
Well, no, but the thing is like, have you ever seen like a grass fire, Brian, where it's moving across the field,
right.
and it's just burning
as it goes,
small amounts of grass, and it just travels across the field,
right.
And that's what will happen with mulch: is it'll light on fire, and then it'll just kind of smolder all the way. And the reason why firefighters don't like it is because it's that smoldering.
Uh-huh.
If it's up next to the house, they can't really put it out real well. Even when they douse it with water, it stays. So they kind of scrape it away from a house because obviously they don't want your house to catch fire. And, so it's a very good point. It's a very good point for, if you're in a fire-prone area, mulch is,
I just didn't want somebody's house to burn down because they put gorilla hair all the way up to
Yeah,
the
that
front
is true.
door.
That is true. Yeah, and and it's a tough thing because mulches do a lot of good for areas.
Oh, yeah.
Even in fire areas, like in the sense of
And they-
keeping
They hold moisture in the soil so
Yeah,
that it's not going to be as dry.
is dry,
Right.
and and like we said, it could actually keep the plants healthier and full of water so they don't catch fire as much. So it's a balancing. It's a balancing. But I will say mulches are suggested to be applied. Every year. These are not just a one and done item.
Right.
So if it's something that you're like, oh, I apply it in the middle of winter, by the summer, maybe if you do a light coat of it, it's kind of gone already. Yeah.
The other thing we need to discuss is, I think, a new topic for us.
Uh-oh.
And that's
Music.
viviparity
Oh yeah.
or viviparity. Robert, one of our listeners in Shasta County, East Shasta County. Actually, I think he lives in Cottonwood, if I'm not mistaken. But he sent this picture
Cottonwood,
of a tomato.
Arizona?
Golf course?
No, California.
Okay, all right. All right.
But did you see the picture, Brian, of the tomato that he had?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. In fact, we looked at that last week before you put it in the newsletter because
We
you had
did?
received it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
Really?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anyway, his tomato has seeds that have germinated inside the tomato, and plants are growing out of it.
What do you call that?
You call it viviparity.
I call it-
Viviparity.
Do you
I
call
call
it
it rare.
viviparity or do you call it viviparity?
I call it rare.
Va-va-voom. There's some people say vivipary, which at the current moment is easier for me to say. But it's seeds, seeds or plants starting on the main part of a plant.
Yeah.
And it's true with agaves a lot of times. You'll see plantlets on the plant.
Right, right.
So
Yeah. No, but if you want to go into deeper, I loved the article that you wrote on it because it explained it. But I mean, the people need to understand that normally there's what is it called? What is it? Hormones or what was it you're saying that normally the tomato has this product in there which suppresses the seed from growing.
It's lacking that.
And
Yeah.
and it's lacking that. And you said people can actually cause that to happen by storing it in
Right.
areas. So what was it that it's
they're
lacking?
natural hormones that cover
Hormones.
the seed.
There's hormones
Right.
so that cover the seed that say do not start to sprout while growing in the fruit itself.
Right.
And this is for everything because this happens to cantaloupe. This
How about
happens to
how about potatoes?
No, potatoes have eyes. They're a tuber.
You
I
see,
thought they're not part of the Solanate. Potatoes aren't the same
There's-
family.
They are.
They are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it could not happen to a tomato. I'm
Tomato-
sorry,
potato?
a potato.
Well, potatoes naturally grow the plant on the outside of
Yeah.
the
And Tiger
potato.
says they can see what they're doing where
Right. That
tomatoes can't.
Right. Yeah.
But no, but this can happen to a lot of variety of different things. This happens to oranges sometimes.
Right. So the fruit has to be stressed out a little bit.
So stressed.
Right.
Yeah. But you said something in the article in terms of storing it too.
Yeah. If it's you store it in a cool, moist conditions.
It'll naturally break down that hormone.
Right.
Which
Or
will
if
now,
it's overly ripe, the same thing can
Okay.
happen.
You know, if I owned a company that sells potatoes and I was in charge of marketing,
just put
you know,
those
you know
googly
what,
eyes
what
all
you know
over
what my selling point would be? The eyes have it. You don't get it, do you?
I do get it.
The eyes have it.
It's something to work with.
No, that's it. There's no working. That's it. It doesn't need any polishing up at all. That's it. The eyes
or
have
there's
it.
no marketing campaign. You're going to leave right now.
That's it. The eyes have it. All right. You know what? You want to squeeze in that quote
Yeah,
of the week?
'cause it's
Yeah,
a short one.
shorty.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I'm not even really a quote. It's more of a blip on the radar screen.
Yeah, it
but-
was quotes from Lao Tzu, who was a Chinese philosopher.
Now, is that one name or is that two names?
I thought
Two names.
I thought it was Loud Sue, like oh she was a singer or something.
Lao Tzu.
Lao
Lao
Tzu.
Tzu. And when did Lao Tzu live?
Lao Tzu.
Oh, Lao Tzu. Pardon me.
Lao Tzu.
Yeah, Lao.
Tzu is TSU. Anyway, he was a Chinese philosopher, and he said that nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
You have to think about those Chinese philosophers.
All right, we're going to take a break. Our final segment is almost in the history books. This segment
Final.
here.
Wow.
Our
when we
last
come
segment.
back,
That's not our final.
No, this prior segment.
Prior segment.
Yeah, the last segment. This one here.
when we come back, we have a tip from one of our listeners in Grapevine, Texas.
Nice tease, John. Hey, thank you to those tuned in on Biz Talk Radio. In fact, this break is for you, our many fine sponsors. Thank you to Fertilome, keeping us on the air. Brian Main, John Begnasco, Tiger Palafox, back in studio. This is Garden America. And just like that, well, if you're tuned in on Facebook Live a little quicker, a bit longer break on Biz Talk Radio. We thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support, your sponsorships, Fertilome, and everybody else who pays the bills for us, John, when we take these breaks on a national level. Now, you did a great tease before the break.
Yeah. Do you want to go right into that, or?
I want to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Well, let's
We're all here for you,
let's do
John.
that right
You-
after you explain to
This is your day.
to John from Newport Beach why we're back here in studio.
We're back in studio because during the last couple of 2 or 3 weeks, Tiger's been experimenting with various technological ways to present the show.
Yeah.
We ran into some Wi-Fi problems. We ran into some situations that only Tiger, myself, and you understand. So after being out for a couple of weeks,
Don't include me in that.
come on, I'm on a roll. What are you doing here? I'm on a roll.
What do I normally say? My answer always is, "Did you put in new batteries?"
So you brought up so what we're doing, we're back in studio with a new way to hook up based upon the experiences
Right.
and the experimentations we did outdoors.
Yeah. Very true.
So
and,
we're
and
back.
so,
So
I,
what you're
I hope
saying-
it's going well for everybody out
Yeah, I
there.
hope so
Yeah.
too.
What you're saying is that our other hookup apps weren't as satisfying as they could be.
You know what? Remember this: when you update one little device, you better update all of the devices.
He's not talking about
That's good.
apps.
Anyway,
Apps.
back to Robert in Grapevine, Texas. He sent us a picture of a dwarf papaya.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was growing through the roof of his greenhouse.
Oh, my goodness.
I saw that.
Yeah, but did you see all the papaya on that?
Okay, so he
And
had that.
he was growing it in a pot, and the variety of papaya is called TR Hovey, H-O-V-E-Y. And the nice thing about it is that you can grow that anywhere in a container, and it'll fruit like that in the container. So I was thinking like you, Brian, on your patio.
Grow
Yeah.
papaya?
Yeah, they're supposed to get I think he said, supposed to get 4 to 8 feet, and his was, I would say, easily over 8
I've
feet.
never tried to grow papaya.
Do you like papaya?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, and it's not something that I think. It's not one of those fruits that people eat all the time. It's not up
Correct.
there with oranges,
It's good
limes,
for
and
you,
lemons,
though.
and apples.
One of the
and-
best things for you. Isn't
Yeah.
it good for digestion and stuff
right?
like that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Anyway, that TR Hovey. I looked at that picture, and do you do the same thing, Tiger, when you see something, go, I might need that?
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have some new. You said new viewers, new listeners this week.
We had, oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting her name.
Well, are you talking about the person from Alberta?
Edmonton, Alberta.
Alberta,
Yeah,
right?
Brian, let me know that I should not have put in
Which
the
Brian?
newsletter. You.
Me, Brian.
You. Brian let me know I should not have put in Edmonton, Canada.
Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Right.
It's a province.
It'd be like San Diego, California, United States.
Right.
Right.
Right. But anyway, so we have some new people checking in. You got
Yeah, yeah.
pictures.
She sent us a picture of some nasturtiums. Do you know that Edmonton, Canada, Edmonton, Alberta, Brian, has the largest shopping center in North America?
It's an indoor shopping center, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
like with
It's bigger than the Mall of America?
It has an amusement park in
Yeah.
it. And
Well, so does the Mall of America.
it's like
It's
another.
crazy.
it's bigger than the Mall of
It's like
America.
another
Awesome.
city. Like you're in a city within a city.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
By the way, the Mexican government wants to call it the Mall of Mexico
Gosh.
instead of the Mall of America, but we'll let politicians decide that.
Yeah. A lot of important things to
You know,
discuss.
Carla pointed out, Brian, that she liked our nursery setup,
Yeah.
but this makes a lot more sense with fall and winter coming on.
No, we're gonna try some different changes
Yeah,
because
we're
we
gonna-
can
yeah.
do this at the nursery too.
Yeah.
So we're
Well,
all of
stay-
this
and-
is
and we'll
in
be
hopes to
looking-
be able to kind of expand our abilities when it comes to the
Right.
show.
Yeah, and you know what? There's growing pains. You know what?
Flexibility is what we're looking forward to, right?
Yeah, exactly. As we get older,
Flexibility.
flexibility is important.
Yeah.
But again, with that comes growing pains and certain things that maybe not work exactly the way you want them, but then you rebound and come back the week after.
But it's like gardening, right?
That's right.
You know, you plant something and it doesn't work out.
So
but-
what you're getting at is at the end of the year, someone's going to say, John, how many shows did you kill this year?
The speaking of gardening, I'm getting a great crop of zucchini.
Are you?
And I like the
Are you
using
share it?
Do you want some? I asked Shannon last night, should I bring Brian a zucchini? And she said, I think I'm going to cut it up and freeze it.
That's fine. You know what you just reminded me of?
She could be selfish.
I never brought you your egg carton back.
Oh, from
And that was like
all
a
of the
month ago.
eggs.
Well, here's what I did when I was cracking eggs without even thinking. I
put 'em
cracked
right
the
back
shells,
in
I
the
put them
carton.
right back in the carton.
You know
messes
what?
up the carton.
I'm not saying who in my house also does that, but that really upsets me.
I know.
It's like
I'm
just
coming clean.
Yeah.
Toss it in the trash can.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to recycle the if you're not going to save
Yeah,
the
I know.
carton.
I-
you can recycle.
You
it
know how long
without
I've been
egg
carrying
shells
this
in it.
burden? For the past month or so.
Well, I'm
feels so
glad
good to
you've
get it
come
off your
clean.
Yeah,
chest.
get on my chest. And I
Yeah.
knew it. I did the first two, and I went, oh.
So John, regarding your zucchini though,
Right.
Because this was kind of not an experiment, but this was all very late,
Really late.
right?
Yeah,
And you're getting good production on everything.
yeah.
Is this going to force you to be a late gardener? Because like sometimes when you start early, you deal with more problems, right?
Well, you know what? You miss out on seasons, right? I didn't. The reason I did not start early was I didn't have anywhere to plant,
Right.
and then you made somewhere for me to plant.
Exactly.
So, had I been, we planted lettuce, which really was too late, and I put in a heat tolerant lettuce, but to me it seemed a little bitter.
Gotcha.
So wait for the cool weather. But other things,
The tomato looked great. Tomato looked excellent.
Tomatoes are doing really well.
Yeah. And normally you would have started those
A couple months
3
earlier.
months earlier. Yeah.
I don't know about 3, but at least 2.
Well, what are we in August?
Yeah.
yeah,
So
middle of
July,
August.
June.
I planted
You would have
in
planted
May.
them in May.
Isn't that when I did plant them?
Oh, I thought you planted them in
June?
June.
Might have.
Okay.
So what about how hot? I can take 2, right, or 3. How hot has it been in Fallbrook? Because
it's
we've
been
had
beautiful.
really mild temperatures the last couple of days.
We've had pretty mild temperatures. Tiger pointed out that there's some 90-degree days coming up towards the end of this coming week.
Ugh. Just when it just seems like we're going to get through August, September.
I mean, it's natural,
I understand.
right? Like this is not bad.
But I got bets going. You know, you
With
can
what?
bet on anything
Yeah.
on the weather.
This is perfect
Yeah, but
weather.
what are you betting that it's
I'm betting that through the entire end of August, it's going to continue to be mild.
well? But what is mild in the sense of you know,
80s, mid to upper 80s.
Okay, John normally is hitting triple digits right now, right?
No,
Like,
I rarely ever hit triple digits.
no, not in August.
You come back and you say, I was 101, 102 at my place yesterday.
Yeah, but there's less than 6 of those days the whole year.
Okay, so you're in
Usually
the
it's
90s.
January.
So you're in the
You're in the 90s?
you're in the 90s normally.
No, normally in the 80s.
Okay.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
What are you complaining for?
This is,
Yeah.
for Tiger, this is the best time of year for you, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, break time. You have to take a
What?
break. Yeah, we got to pay some more bills. We have our sponsors to think about on Biz Talk Radio. We thank you for tuning in on Facebook Live. Again, here we go. Brian Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, back with more gardening information. Are we caught up with a lot of the questions and comments, or do we need to delve
No, we
into
got
that?
a question for Tiger because we were, well, actually it's for me, but Tiger and I were just discussing this.
We'll do that after
So
the
we'll
break.
talk about it. Yeah.
After these messages on Biz Talk Radio. That break is over. It's back to business now. Seriousness, gardening, horticulture, landscaping, and we got to answer some questions, comments, and delve back into the show.
Yeah, Paula in Fallbrook, Tiger, is asking if I laid screen under the vegetable area for gopher protection. and we did not. But you and I were just discussing that last week, right?
Yeah.
And you were talking about how sometimes, I guess, when you put in a lawn, you'll put what do you
The-
put under there?
So it's not chicken wire.
Right.
A lot of times, what they'll kind of sell it as is like a construction mesh. It's a wire mesh that has square, not hexagon. Is what chicken wire hexagon
yeah.
is.
Are they
chicken
real small?
wire.
Is a mesh really small?
Usually, it is pretty small.
Like a
You can buy them in
screen?
different sizes, but for gophers, see the thing with gophers is anything smaller, anything bigger than like a 3/4 of an inch size, is too big because gophers can kind of get through there. So you kind of have to have it smaller than that. That's why they say you can't even use chicken wire for gopher
Too big. Too
protection.
big, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a construction screen or construction mesh. Yeah, wire
I
mesh. But yeah, so people use it in their lawns to prevent the gophers from getting into their lawns and creating damage and stuff.
So
like
that's
that.
what you're going to do at John's house.
No, because
Oh, really?
because the thing with John's beds is John's beds.
No, his
are,
lawn. I'm talking about the lawn
Oh,
that you're going to put in.
we talked about it, and the thing that I don't like about that is once it's there, it's there. Like it is not easy to pull up. It is not easy to dig through. It ends up breaking down eventually, and then you have metal. Like
Okay,
you know what I mean?
So
like
what are you going to do about the gophers that start to?
well, that's John's job. He's got his
but
system.
But you're going to wait until you see that first gopher
I
hole.
haven't had a gopher hole in 3 months now.
Yeah.
You know, I got up to, I think it was 84 gophers.
So
that
what?
I
You think
caught.
that's the end of gophers at your place?
No, but you know, now whenever you see tunnel action, you can just go through and
Right, but you're not going to see the damage until they pop up on the lawn and there's a big mound right there.
See, but if anybody is listening that has used any kind of mesh material for protecting for gophers and they've laid it in an entire lawn or bed, I would love to hear a report back after 5-10 years and see if they regretted it, see if they appreciated it, see what their thoughts.
Okay,
pros
well,
and
so
cons.
what are your concerns about that?
Well, my biggest concern is, you know, if you want to dig in that area again. So say
you want to plant a tree.
Yeah, say you want to plant a tree
Mm-hmm.
in your lawn. Now you have this wire mesh that you dig through, and it's not going to be terribly hard, but you've now kind of penetrated the force field, so to speak, and you're just providing access for it. And also it's just metal in there, and like when you're digging, it's going to be sharp and pointy.
So
and,
what you're saying is if you change your mind and want to upgrade or do something like planting a tree, there's a problem. But if you don't plan on doing it, it's going to be grass forever.
see, but who doesn't want to change their mind?
Well, yeah, no,
That's
exactly.
the thing,
I know.
Is,
Yeah, right.
Is 5-10 years from now? I mean, it's kind of like my thoughts on the weed fabric too. People say, "Oh, I want weed fabric below my rock or below my mulch or below the DG to protect from weeds," and I say no, because like it's just going to be later on. It's going to come up through everything. It's going to tear. It's going to rip. The weed seeds fall on top of the mulch, the rock, the DG anyway, and start growing from there. You do get a little bit more protection, but I think that the overall problem is bigger with weed barrier down the road. You know, and there are right places for it, but I'm not a huge advocate for it.
I think that weed barrier or the mesh is more of a problem now than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because people aren't moving as much. It used to be if you lived in California in a house for 5 years, that was plenty.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's see. What was the other thing here?
So did we talk about that though? Like, did we answer a question regarding the wire mesh?
Where do we stay? I don't want people to be hanging on going, an hour from now.
They
You
said,
didn't answer my
did
question.
did you use the mesh in the beds? No, we did not. Oh,
the
the other
short
thing,
answer was no.
but the other reason why we specifically did not use mesh in John's beds is that his beds are only really about 6 inches tall, meaning above the ground. So if we were to put mesh under the bed,
It would raise it.
well, no, it would have only been 6 inches below. So if he would have planted a 1 gallon plant, you'd been hitting mesh.
Plus, there was rock underneath. It was DG,
Yeah.
composed granite.
So,
What was I going to say?
oh, sorry.
That's all right.
But if people were doing like a 2-foot raised bed or like a, something of
Oh.
steep size, like, yeah, you could use mesh.
I was going to mention you gave me some gopher
Cages.
cages from
Mesh.
Mexico.
And they
I
were
think.
like a wire mesh, like a
They-
suit of armor wire mesh.
But very lightweight.
yeah,
And we were wondering what happens if you plant a tree in there,
right.
or
Yeah, we
The
felt it
fig-
would bind the roots.
right. I did try it on a fig tree that I put on my hillside, and gophers love fig trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought a gopher got it, but then I started thinking, well, how did the gopher even get in? Because I planted it in that mesh bag that you gave me, and it ended up coming back, and it's bigger than ever. So the roots must have grown through that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the fig tree now is probably 8 to 10 feet tall.
That's
So it's
so
gotta-
surprising.
So it's got to have,
Some
big
ability.
roots that went somewhere. So I guess maybe the roots grow right through it.
And the damage could have been from gophers because the whole point of the cage is that it protects the core of the
Right.
plant, and gophers will sometimes nibble out the surrounding roots, and it'll die back. But since that core is protected, the plant should come back. Sounds like maybe what happened.
And maybe because I got the gopher after that.
Yeah.
So it could have been. John in Newport Beach says that for him, planting early is a gamble. In their community garden, they always have a competition to get the earliest tomatoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people do that, right? You want to
Right.
have the first tomato on your property.
I'm never that motivated. I'm sorry.
I remember when I lived in Michigan that Billy Martin always wanted to have the first tomato.
Billy Martin.
Baseball player Billy Martin,
Yeah.
manager Billy Martin.
Yeah, and he was manager of the Tigers. He used to play for the Yankees.
He
Boy,
always
he
wanted-
managed. Okay,
Yeah, I
That-
think also Oakland, right?
that must have been one of his first managerial jobs. Detroit.
No, he came from somewhere else. He came from Oakland. Wasn't it Oakland? Wasn't he the one that always used to make his pitchers go to complete games?
No,
and,
that
like-
was Dick Williams.
Oh, that was Dick Williams.
That was Dick Williams
Okay.
with the Padres.
Yeah,
When-
Billy
when-
Martin was earlier.
When the pitchers were struggling out there,
Yeah.
he'd leave them out there. It's almost like a slow death. I'll teach you to pitch correctly.
That's right. So anyway, he said half the people plant way too early and the tomatoes suffer until the ground warms up, and they lose time because they planted too early.
Yes, that's true too, right?
What about if you're planting an early girl?
Well, that made me think about. In the past, we promoted winter tomatoes.
Yeah.
Right.
And-
Stupichka.
Stupichka was one of them,
And anyway,
and anything.
there's several other ones.
Yeah,
Siberia.
things that sounded cold. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Siberia,
San Francisco
Manitoba.
fog.
But anyway, those so-called winter tomatoes need to be planted now
Mm-hmm.
in August. So if you want to have tomatoes in the winter, plant a cold variety tomato. Early Girl is not one of those varieties.
Don't we often talk about people don't wait until fall when it's
Well, it's-
cold?
yeah.
Start planting
Well,
now.
Well, it depends what you're planting, but the reason what a winter tomato is a tomato that will set fruit when nighttime temperatures are in the 30s and 40s, where regular tomatoes will not fruit when it's that cold. But no tomato grows when the weather's cold.
Right.
So you want to plant the winter tomatoes now so that they will get a lot of growth on them. So come fall, they'll be large enough to flower and fruit, or come winter. And again, for our listeners around the country, we're talking about San Diego. We're not talking about our new friend in Edmonton.
And one of the most important things to also understand too is the root development on the tomato is super important. Because we were just talking about that fig tree. A fig tree can have like a pretty mild root growth, and it's actually a pretty good tree and can produce figs and leaves and look big, and then you knock it over and it's like there was no root system to it, right? But like a tomato, it requires, we talk about it, it requires a 15-gallon bucket just to be able to produce a fruit. So it needs to have that much root mass. And like they were saying, if the roots don't grow, even though the plant's growing, then it still won't produce
Break
fruit.
time.
All right.
One more segment until the top of the hour for those on Biz Talk Radio. So again, we're going to continue. Taking a break. This is Garden America. We are back in studio. You're John, Tiger, Brian. Here we go with the break and back after these messages on Biz Talk Radio. Okay. No more delays. We are back. And this is our final segment, by the way, for hour one for Facebook. It doesn't matter, John, because after that, we're going to go right over the top of the hill. News on the other side of the hour for Biz Talk Radio. And then we're back on Facebook Live at 6 minutes after for Biz Talk Radio. I like I like to confuse your brain.
Are both over the hill. I don't know about Tiger
Over
yet.
the hill? I haven't even started climbing the hill yet. What are you talking about?
I've always been a late bloomer.
You got to climb. You don't still wear those do you?
Bloomers. Hey, I got a question for John. So,
Yes.
Viviquary? What was it?
See, you do it too. But just say viviparity. You can
Viviparity.
pronounce it either way.
Viviparity,
Right.
where
You're going to
the-
forget in 2 seconds.
where the plant from the fruit grows within the fruit.
Right.
Kind of a
Or
problem.
on another part of the plant,
Or on
like
it,
in the
yeah.
case of agaves. It can be a plantlet.
Okay, so number one, does it change? Like, is that tomato, as you just put in the newsletter, that one that had little, and it was a tomato fruit, and then it had little tomato seeds growing all
Sprouting
out
out
of
of
it,
it,
sprouting out of it. Does that make it taste just horrible?
No, you can still eat the fruit.
You can still eat the fruit.
Right. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, you can eat the tomato sprouts if you want.
Yeah, I mean, sprouts are.
What happens if
sprouts
you
are
let,
just
let it
small.
go? If you they'll just keep
Well,
growing.
wait a minute, I'm getting there. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm thinking like we have a new level of things that we can do here.
Yeah.
Where what if we took a tomato?
Mm-hmm.
Because you spearheaded the whole ketchup and fries.
Right.
Okay, so what if we took a tomato and started embedding other seeds into it? Would they begin to grow out of that tomato too? Where just we have one tomato and then out of that tomato we can have like a little cilantro, and that all you do is you take this one tomato, drop it into a pot, put it in a blender, and
Wait, are you talking about other tomatoes or different species?
No.
He
Like-
wants to have salsa in one fruit.
yes. Like, can you imagine you go into the store and you've got this big, beautiful tomato, and in that tomato, it has a cilantro growing out of it. It's got a little bit of like some chives growing out of it and everything else. And you just take that one plant and throw it into a blender.
See, so I'm thinking about when you introduce a foreign substance into your body that's not your own blood or your
Yeah.
own organs, that there's a rejection. Would there be a rejection from that tomato?
A tomato is water. You
Yeah,
could
it's
stick
just
a
a-
sunflower seed inside
just
a
a medium.
tomato and it would germinate.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But we
See?
haven't. I mean, but I've never. In other words, you want to do this.
I want to do this.
Well, let's-
how do
yeah,
how do I inject seeds into a tomato without because that's the whole thing too. The reason why this works is because it's from the inside out.
Right.
Right.
If
but-
I were to puncture the tomato, it would begin to decay.
Right.
So,
And the tomato's going to decay anyway by the time the other things would germinate and mature. The tomato would be long gone.
I'm thinking. Yeah, and the
I can do
seeds.
this. I can do this.
Well,
I would say
if it was water, if it was a watery substance, you could just poke it and it and it wouldn't create a big hole.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of a nice way of putting this, but
Just put it.
it's just silly. You guys are being silly.
Hey,
No, I know where you're going.
ketchup and fries was silly.
Yeah, that was pretty.
As silly as ketchup and fries was, I think that I made more money off that than you would make off your idea. But
Yeah.
go ahead and try it.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
Luther
but you're right.
Burbank.
It's the way to introduce it because it comes from within.
Yeah.
We mentioned that Luther Burbank was the first one to graft tomatoes and potatoes, and he did it backwards at first, where he grafted a potato plant onto a tomato rootstock.
That's silly.
Yeah,
Even I know that's wrong.
Luther Burbank was he was a very impressive person.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about how Henry Ford and Thomas Edison visited Burbank in Santa Rosa because he was so well respected at the time and so innovative in everything that he
Innovative minds want to hang around other innovative minds.
did. Yeah.
Well,
And that's what that's all about.
and it really comes down to, if you really think about science, biology is actually like light years ahead of all the other sciences because it's nature, and just like your quote, it's not in a rush, but it all works itself out.
Yeah.
And so nature's been doing science for so much longer than we have. So it understands when things work, when things don't, restrictions and all of that. So, I think that's where, we talk about like a lot of our medicine. Where does it come from? Plants. A lot of all of our food, besides animals, but even then they depend on plants for
Are you
food.
saying that God's plan is always better?
Yes. Right?
No matter
Like,
what we do, all we tend to do is get in the way.
the answers
A
are
lot.
there. We just have to look
Ex-
for them in nature.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
and you're right about all these medicines and things that come from
Yeah.
the plant world. And I think they're even doing experiments on cancer research as it pertains to sharks.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think sharks
Get cancer?
Yeah, there's something within the shark itself that prohibits it. So
it's-
everything is right there.
It's high mercury diet.
Mercury. How come we don't hear about Mercury anymore? We're still hearing about Venus and Mars, but not Mercury.
But yeah, so no, I think that like Luther Burbank, like being involved with nature so much and understanding plants, like you can understand so much as
Right.
far as water filtration, air filtration, energy, food, all of that.
John points out that his brother in Oregon,
Oregon.
I was reading it.
Yeah.
Do you remember,
that's the
again,
worst.
off in the subject, but Perry Como, I think it was Perry Como that sang the song about Where Is Oregon?
Yeah, Perry just a
And,
little before my
she
time.
went to pay her taxes.
Oh,
Do you remember
a
that?
play on words? No, but
It was all the states. Like, what did Delaware, boys? What did Delaware? She wore a brand new jersey. I think it was Perry Como. Either Perry Como or Dean Martin. Anyway, Tiger's probably never heard that song. have you?
Never.
I don't remember it.
What are those called? Puns? All puns? Is that what those are?
Play on words.
Play on words?
Yeah.
We
Anyway,
got about a minute, less than a minute.
well, anyway, John says whenever his brother in Oregon, Brian,
Oregon.
that he curses Luther Burbank whenever he sees the huge roadside blackberry mounds, Himalayan blackberries. But that happens, there's
Hey.
mistakes.
Hey. Yeah.
Who was it? David Fairchild. The Florida swamps are infested with melaleuca because he brought that over. In California, we can grow melaleuca because it's not a problem. But in the Everglades, Brian,
It's a problem.
We got to
It's a
take a quick
problem.
break. News, top of the hour coming up on Biz Talk Radio. After that, it's more Garden America. Welcome back. If you're tuned in on Biz Talk Radio, this is the very beginning of hour number 2. If you didn't hear us during hour number 1, you can always go to our Facebook page and go to YouTube. Plenty of ways to catch up on Garden America, Alexis, Spotify, what else is out there? Google, you name it. Digital streaming, you can always catch up and find out where we are and what you missed. So there you go. We are back on Facebook Live and the second hour on Biz Talk Radio.
first hour was full of a lot of gardening, Tiger.
Yeah,
A
let's
lot of
change it
gardening.
up.
We didn't talk sports. We didn't drift off into some esoteric area. We pretty much stuck to the game plan.
You know what I was just thinking about right now before we started was, it's August, and what you're doing in the garden, what people are planting, and for us it's nothing because it's
Yeah, nothing.
August. But
For us, you mean
Here
the
in
garden center?
San Diego, and yeah, the garden center. I mean, it's just
I've
a
got
tough.
a lot to do.
Well, you always have a lot
Yeah.
to do.
Now,
you know?
last week I was admiring what was that Japanese rose that we were staring at that was right in front of us on the table that you did a hard prune.
Japanese rose.
What had Japanese name? It was right in front of us. You did
Oh,
you did
yeah.
a hard.
I brought it on camera, and well, in front of us is the Japanese garden that you created
Right, but
against
the
your
rose
home.
wasn't a Japanese rose.
well, it had a Japanese name,
It
didn't
had a
it?
Japanese name.
Yeah.
That- you
Leonard-
called it your Japanese rose
Leonard
garden.
Demarche?
No.
No.
It was a cross.
It's right in front
we
of
were
us.
looking at it,
And it's a
and
Japanese
it had
rose.
0 leaves on it.
Okay, you did a
'Cause
hard.
you had-
Oh,
You had a.
well, I
there
was
was like
thinking of
5.
something that looked good. It looked like
No.
a bare root. There
no,
was,
did.
no. This
Yes.
is my point.
that was Kagayaki.
Yeah.
There you go, Kagiyaki.
Yeah.
So my point, it all depends on how you look at something. I look at that as like, that looks so good because I envision what it's going to become. To me, that looked like somebody just got out of the barbershop with a haircut.
Well-
and you're going to look a little better in a week, but look at you.
Yeah.
And I want to go home and I didn't do it, but it inspired me to go cut my roses back like
Well,
that.
yeah, now would be a good time to do it for a fall bloom.
Yeah, I thought it looked really good. I really did. I thought that's going to look. Now you got before and afters. So give it what, 6 weeks? What will it look like in 6 weeks?
It'll be in full bloom.
Full bloom. 6 weeks. From that, in 6 weeks,
Yeah.
that's a huge change.
So
It's
but
a
what it,
complete metamorphosis is what you were thinking.
Right? It's called the butterfly effect or the caterpillar effect
Yeah.
or the
but there are places in the world where August is like spring, right? In terms of this is
you
like
know
Like-
what? South
like
of the equator.
Phoenix?
yeah.
Hey, Tiger, south of the equator.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I wonder where in the world people will get excited to plant because it's August.
Well, August in the southern hemisphere is the same as January
Yes.
in ours, so it's still winter.
But it's
So-
building up to spring.
But it's building up, so
Well,
they're
yeah,
getting
as much
excited.
as January
It's
is.
built it up. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, how
Yeah.
about this?
Tell our friend in Edmonton if she's thinking about planting in January.
So here's an idea. You take the 12 months of the year.
Yeah.
So, like in California, the month of August, what should you be doing?
Planting
same
bearded iris.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
That-
you're going to if you want bearded iris to bloom next year, they need to be planted in August. And if you have bearded iris that you need to divide, you need
This
to
is
do
the
it
time to
now.
do it.
This
Okay,
is
so
the
now
time of year.
take August, and if you live in Nebraska, what should you be doing in August?
You should be stocking up your wood pile.
Yeah.
In New Jersey. So what I'm saying is, and then you get to September, what should each state be
Yeah.
doing in terms of gardening?
And a lot of cold areas plant peonies in the fall.
Really?
So yeah, so that they'll
Over winter and then.
bloom the following year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you plant peonies in the spring, you have to wait a whole year.
Yeah. But I think the other thing, as far as, different parts of the world when it comes to the different months, like you're saying, Brian, is also just different cultures. Like, you just mentioned bearded iris, peonies. We can talk about tulips and, all kinds of other varieties of plants that are very seasonal to wherever people live. And, where we don't experience that because they don't grow here. And, as we get into the fall, we talk about planting California natives because it's a great time to plant the California natives. You get them established through the winter. So by next summer, they're established. You don't have to worry about them as much, and they're growing and they're developing. That's our tulip. That's our peony, so to speak. But other places where, John mentioned, the peonies, like that's exciting to be like, hey, I'm planting this now for next year. We don't have too much of that besides maybe wildflower seeds because we don't have a lot of bulb, like a lot of.
We have bare root season though, right?
Not really though. Like I think other places have much better bare root season than us. know what I mean?
California was the biggest bare root season in the country.
Bare root grower. But do you think the season?
Yeah, because other, I don't. Well, it depends what you're talking about bare root, but I don't think other parts of the country have the wide selection of bare root plants that we put in California. California used to have shrubs, bare root shrubs. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what you're
could
saying
get
is a
whole-
shorter amount of time with the season to plant
Well,
them?
no. Well, I'm getting what I'm getting at is like when rose growers were going through their fields and bare rooting
And
their roses, they weren't dormant. They weren't like they were still like having to defoliate them and all the other stuff.
Right, but they were all harvested at the same time.
Right.
So if you have a bare root rose in California, it's harvested in December, you can go ahead and plant it in January. when
Right.
It comes in the nursery. But if it's another part of the country, it has to be held in cold storage.
Yeah, they ship them in, like you're saying, like
and then
May,
in April.
or
Yeah.
April. They show up in the nurseries back east.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's August is one of those weird, and then August and September are kind of like those weird months for gardening, and then I kind of feel people get excited again at the end of September. October is a very exciting month for gardening. And then I think November just gets, grouped in with Christmas and you kind of, November and December are all 1 month for, I think, gardening people for the most part.
Carla mentioned she's trying not to buy any new plants.
Just right now or in general, Carla?
I think she's saying because her water bill is so high.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, yeah, that's something you just got to put up with or move to Idaho. Because they don't have water bills in Idaho, at least in Boise. I
what,
think
they live
that's-
off the runoff?
No, I think it's free. I don't think my daughter has a water bill. I could be wrong.
They got to pay something for it, right? Like
Yeah.
they got to put the pipes in and stuff.
I don't think
Right.
so.
No water bill?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Our friend Diane, who
that's
lives
absurd.
outside of Boise in Nampa, has a day of the week where she opens up the dike
Yep.
and floods her entire yard.
Yeah, that's really
Wait a
neat.
minute. She has a personal dike?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are areas where they're kind of like rural farmlands where, what do they call them, the water master, and they like give you certain days where
Yeah.
you can divert there's always like a stream running
It's
in
a
front of your
river.
house.
Yeah, a
right.
river.
Okay, so you can
And
tap into it.
Certain days of the week you can tap into it and then water your property.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean,
great
that's lovely that there are areas where there's always water.
I've never heard you say the word lovely.
No,
It's the first time I've ever heard him say there's
he perked up when I
lovely.
said it. Lovely.
Oh, lovely. So,
What is it that they always said in when we were in England? We never use it here. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah.
my brother, when he lived in England for a while, he
Right.
got married to an English, and he worked in advertising over there.
Yeah.
He came back, and everything was brilliant. Oh, it's brilliant. Brilliant. I go, well, it's good. I'm not sure it's brilliant.
Brilliant.
What do you
know.
mean? Is it intelligent?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, when's the last time you used the word darling?
Darling.
Last night.
Good night, darling.
No, but isn't that flower darling, or isn't that not your wifer, but just women tend to use the word more than
Yeah.
than men do.
Yeah. True.
I never say
Yeah.
it's darling.
I remember in the
When's the last time Shannon said that's really bitchin'?
I don't think she's ever said that.
Exactly.
The I do remember though when we were when was the hippie era? End of the 60s?
Yeah, like
beginning of the
67 to
70s?
74, maybe. We got a break coming up. This is going to be a good story. Don't lose your
Yeah.
train of thought.
I won't
No, no,
remember.
no, no,
There's no
hippie,
way I'll remember.
Hippie,
John's
flower
hippies,
children.
hippie days is
Okay,
good
we're
stories.
going to take
for
a break
sure.
for Biz Talk Radio. Back with John's hippie days, 67 to 74 circa. Stay with us on Garden America. Okay, we are right back. Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live, the hippie days, John, hearkening back to that time.
Macrame, avocado carpet.
Right, exactly, all that.
Speaking of macrame, my wife
Don't
ma-
take-
Chevy
Divert.
Vega.
My-
Don't. You're going to lose your train of thought.
she made macrame on television. It was on a television
She had a
show.
little-
Isn't
her
that
show?
darling?
Making
Isn't that darling?
macrame in
Yeah,
Detroit.
I remember that, those days. Now, so back to your story.
Carol Duvall show.
He can remember Carol Duvall, but he can't remember last segment.
Can't remember.
What were we talking about?
The
Hippie
hippie days.
days.
And
Oh
and-
yeah, we were just talking about how they use different words, and so we were in my friend's VW van,
Of course you were.
a bunch
Yeah.
of people, and,
Shocking.
With the big flowers on the side.
Yeah.
and there were some people from England who were visiting.
Oh,
that
wow.
were there with us, and my friend's girlfriend was looking at something. I don't know what it was, and the people from England pointed it out to her, and she goes, "Oh wow, that's neat," and they just burst out laughing, and she goes, what are you laughing at? She goes, do you mean it's tidy?
Yes. Yeah.
Neat.
Do you,
Neat and tidy.
Did you ever use the word if something was really cool, like, oh, that's just wicked?
Oh yeah.
Wicked.
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 Never use that.
Keen. Keen
Except
was
when
one.
we went to see that musical while we were in England.
No, wicked. And it's probably regional vernacular.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
when I was a kid, surfers, the waves are really bitching. You got to go see them. It's really righteous today. Really righteous.
We never used that in Michigan.
No,
I didn't.
never.
No, I wouldn't think so. No.
Yeah, definitely.
You use
Definitely regional
yeah.
words.
Yeah.
and, you know,
Exactly.
yeah.
Anyway, on the way home from the show last week, I went to Home Depot and bought some.
On the way home, you were home last week. you were at your
So
house
true.
last week
So
when we
true.
did the show.
You didn't have to leave. So
I
from the
bought-
backyard to your sliding glass door, there's a Home Depot.
Yeah.
You know what? I came to San Diego in the middle of the week, and on the way home, I stopped at Home Depot and got 10 bags of that black mulch.
Oh,
Yeah, my wife
I-
likes the black
Yeah,
mulch around
I
the
saw
house.
that. It doesn't look bad. It's fine.
Yeah.
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 It
Anyway,
looks like volcanic rock from a distance.
it's a good foil for the plants, Brian.
If you
Good
had some
foil.
bright colors with it,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Like
not,
it looks
not no leave roses.
right, exactly.
Well, the front bed is my wife's pink and white bed, so the pink and white show up really good against
Yeah.
it. So I got 10 bags, and I put down the weed preventer first, and then put this on top. And I did half the garden, so on the way back from the show today, I'm going to get another 10 bags, and hopefully I can finish the other half. But the point was, the last shipment they had. Trying to think of the common name, Tiger.
This was a plant.
It's pentas. What's the common name for pentas?
Ooh.
Is it Egyptian starflower?
I was gonna say starflower.
Yeah, they're not from Egypt, though.
But
There is a
there's a few
Brazilian
other
star.
star flowers, and I can't remember like you're saying.
Yeah.
Where
Anyway, pentas, Pentas,
correct.
which they had these
A
pots.
wonderful butterfly plant.
Yeah, they had plants that had, or pots that had, I think there were 5 plants in there, and they were different colors.
Oh.
And one was red, which I cannot put in the pink and white garden,
No.
but the others were white and pink. So I just separated that pot rather than plant it as one, and then they look great in there, and they like the heat. They do really well during the summer.
Speaking of the heat, are you concerned at all that the black mulch is going to make the bed
Hot.
hotter?
On a 0 to 10 scale,
Yes.
it's 0.
You think so?
Yeah.
You don't think with all the science that proves that black absorbs more heat that you're creating a hotter situation for your plants?
Do you grow any plants at the nursery in black containers?
Yes. And
Uh,
it and
you're
and it
not
talks
worried?
about like they've
You're not worried they're all going to die?
well, hopefully they don't last there for more than
Well,
a
wait a
couple
second.
weeks.
A black container surrounds the
I
plant.
saw a couple plants that I remember from
Yeah,
last year.
exactly.
A black container surrounds the plant, but what we're talking about is it's actually buried within the
Yeah,
black.
but
Yeah.
surrounding the plant's going to be a lot worse.
Well, here-
because there's
okay.
nowhere for those
All
roots
right,
to
go-
escape.
and
Go-
my
go get-
nursery
go get a
is also
temperature.
in Mission Hills compared to Fallbrook.
Go get a temperature meter and
Fallbrook's not Temecula, though.
No.
I think you have in your mind that it's like Temecula.
No, but I mean, what I'm getting at is like it's 70 in Mission Hills
Yeah.
when it's 85 in Fallbrook.
Why don't you
so-
test the ground, the temperature of the ground compared to the rest of the areas you don't have the black?
Because I don't really want to waste my time.
And see, this is what
he
he
doesn't
does.
want to be proven
No,
wrong.
he
doesn't want to be proven wrong. I
He
can
doesn't have an
guarantee-
answer for it, so
I
he
can
just says,
guaran-
"I don't." It's silly.
Hey, okay, so Brian, here's the next time we go up to John's house. Okay, he has his like slope. There's no mulch on it. There's
Right,
no
nothing,
anything. Right.
yeah.
I'm gonna bring my little thermometer, my laser thermometer, and I'm gonna shine it there, and then I'm gonna shine it on the
Yeah.
black mulch, and I think the black mulch will be hotter.
I would too.
yeah.
He's looking it up
And,
right
and
now.
and I'm not saying it's worse. Sometimes
No, there's no
keeping-
judgment.
sometimes keeping the soil warm is actually better.
Right.
You know.
Without being sarcastic, that I have to really watch myself because I have a tendency.
You?
You always mention I have tendencies.
No, you're never sarcastic.
And I really, it's something I work on. The what were we talking?
Black mulch.
Oh yeah, the I started thinking of.
So when you leave here, who watches after you? Because you're by yourself.
My mind just went to, I really need to be a better person. I could try harder. But the mulch is covering the ground, holding the moisture
Yes.
in. And the
Wonderful.
moisture's going to automatically help
Cool.
lower the temperature and keep the roots cool. And roots like, as long as there's moisture available, they like warm temperatures.
I don't
That's
think
what I'm saying.
We weren't
That's what I'm
judging.
saying.
I mean, look at the tropics, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Warm soil is beneficial, like
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in most of the problem areas, people are combating keeping their soil warm.
Well, back
You know?
to what you're saying. If I lived in Palm Springs, would I reconsider black mulch? I might.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
or like
But-
black Mexican beach pebble. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
compared to like an Arizona river rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Fallbrook, I don't think that's a problem. We have the,
I don't
the
think
very,
we thought it was a problem. We just what was the ground actually warmer
Yeah.
than other areas that didn't have it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know.
No
It-
judgy. We're not.
It
We're not
really
being
is
judgy.
one of the least of my worries.
And what burns the flowers and foliage on a rose? You know, like is it the intense,
The intense
sunlight, or is it in the intense heat? Is it
Well,
like
the sunlight on top of the heat.
okay? Because I mean, like that's the thing, right? Like
Intense
like,
sunlight doesn't hurt plants because look at the tropics where the sunlight's as intense as
intense as
possible,
possible.
but
Right.
you have humidity
yeah.
and cooler temperatures.
Right.
So it's got to be a combination of the two.
So it's
I think it's definitely the heat, especially. I have a lot of wind where I am compared to you,
Mhm.
and if you have hot, dry winds that are
that's going to crisp.
It is break
the-
time.
yeah, they're
the
pulling
plant.
the moisture out of the leaf faster.
Speaking of
than
hot
the-
air, we're going to continue to pontificate. So do stay with us. This is Garden America taking a break for Biz Talk Radio. Okay, two more segments. This one, John, you'll be happy to know, is the longer of the next two coming up. So plenty of time to forget more things.
Well, that'll give Tiger time to answer Lenore's question.
All right, let's do it.
Canyon Country, right?
Right, she's got some dragon fruit. Oh, actually, maybe she wasn't the one who asked that. She was talking about dragon fruit, but now I'm starting to. We're gonna.
Who
Oh,
takes
here it
care
is.
of you when you?
Well, it was actually Veronica. Going back to Veronica.
So now we're from Canyon Country to Spring Valley.
yeah,
But isn't Veronica moving?
yeah, but she's not moving to Canyon Country. She's staying in Spring Valley, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Anyway,
How do I remember all that?
she's got 4 cuttings of dragon fruit,
Okay.
and she wants to know how to plant them.
All right.
They're just cuttings.
Just cuttings.
Right.
So, like most cuttings, it'd be nice for you to let them heal, which is, about 4 or 5 days in a cool, dark area where you just let that cutting heal before you plant it. That just helps decrease a little bit of rot. And then for the dragon fruit, it's best to plant it in a very well draining soil medium, like
A cactus mix.
like a cactus mix or like a really well draining potting soil. Don't
What
go
about
by.
a steak?
I'm getting there.
Don't go
Oh,
by
okay,
Pearl
I'm
Light.
sorry.
Don't
Is that
go.
what you're-
Well, no, don't go buy that moisture retaining Miracle Grow potting mix.
Right.
Like nothing.
So that'll,
like
that'll
even
make it rot, won't it?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
even like John's a super big advocate of Ocean Forest. Love the product. Great recipe 420 from EB Stone. Wonderful products, but they're all designed to retain moisture.
Right.
And you can rot out your cuttings by planting those in there. And what John mentioned, a stake is critical because what happens is when it starts to set those little baby roots out from the bottom, if it falls over or begins to move, those begin to break. It just keeps delaying the overall cutting time that it takes to really establish itself. So if you can keep it secured, and like we said, like the problem with a lot of the soil mediums we talked about is they're very loose, so they're not going to hold the plant in it as well.
And you don't want to put the cutting too far in the soil because then there's a better chance of it rotting.
What do you think? Like a inch or two?
Not even that much, I would say. A half inch to an inch.
Just
At
barely.
the maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely putting it in the.
But
in
there's
soil.
no way it'll stand up. So, like you said, you've got to have a stake.
Yeah.
Same thing with like plumeria cuttings.
You know, one thing that I saw somebody doing. I have this neighbor that does a bunch of dragon. Their whole backyard is dragon fruit. Like, it's weird. They built this whole structure. You know, like the giant umbrellas with the dragon fruit on them. And you know what they did? You know those? I think you talked about this a week or two ago that you planted. You remember those tall, narrow citrus cans?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you recently planted one in some plant in there. or something.
Avocados.
Yeah. So it's these very tall. How tall was yours? Was it one of the big ones, like about 14 or 16 inches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But they're real narrow, only
Right.
like maybe like a 6-inch, 1 gallon can, but like a cylinder. What they would do is put the soil at the bottom of that, and they would just drop the dragon fruit in there. And then that way it's rooted, but the can is holding it all up. Versus like what you're saying, putting a stake.
Right.
They just put it in this very tall, narrow nursery can, let it root, and then once it rooted, then they can just pop it out and transplant.
Do me a
it.
favor, real quick, if you would, on your phone before I describe something that may not be true. Show me a picture of a dragon fruit.
You don't know what it looks like?
I
Or
think
you-
I think I do, and I don't think I like it.
They're pink, and they have like scales.
They're not
they're
white. They're not
round?
white with dark seeds on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the inside.
Okay, so I'm on the right track.
Yeah,
I think when I've tried it in the past, I didn't do anything for me.
yeah.
What about you?
I like them. There's a lot of varieties of dragon
Yes,
fruit.
exactly. So maybe it's just the variety I tried that was maybe that what
Yeah.
John showed me.
Yeah.
I just didn't do anything for me. It was
Well,
like,
they have pink fleshed varieties too.
but does that change the flavor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some are sweeter. Some are kind of mild. I like those little seeds in there.
Yeah. No, I
Like
just the taste to me
raspberries.
it wasn't very inspiring, and maybe it was just it wasn't sweet enough or something. Dragon fruit. You know what's interesting about dragons? That
What are
there's-
they? The other name for dragon fruit is pitaya.
Is it? I don't know.
Pitaya.
I only know it as
Pitahaya?
dragon fruit.
What I was going to say about dragons, John, is that in all parts of the world, in different countries and continents, before we had, mass communication with each other, that there's drawings of dragons almost all over the world.
You know that in my library, I have a fantasy section. Mm-hmm. I've got all my horticulture books, rose books, and everything.
That fantasy. Okay, go ahead.
And then there's a fantasy section, and I had I have one shelf that has Game of Thrones
Right.
on it.
Okay.
All those books, and then some other books that Robin Hobbs wrote about dragons. Mm-hmm. And online on Amazon, I found this bookend that is a dragon. It just its head with its claw coming out. That would hold the books back.
Okay.
And it's on the shelf.
Oh, you bought it?
I bought it and put it up there. And yesterday my son came over and we were playing three-handed pinochle. and Jesse looked at it and said, "Wow, that's really cool." And Shannon looked at it and she said, "Well, when did you get that?" I didn't really mention when I ordered it, but I really like
Who
it.
notices change in your house, be it subtle or major? You or your wife?
If it's outside, people notice very little. I notice every little thing.
Yep,
If somebody
yep.
picked up a plant and there's
Yep.
1,500 pots of roses, if someone moved it from one space to another,
Yeah,
I
noticed
find
the
out right
most
away.
subtle changes. I can
Yeah.
put something, I can hang a picture or do something in the house. It may be 3 or 4 days later.
Yeah,
Or I'll say, hey, did you notice what I did last week?
yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, my wife has started to notice things with our vegetable garden, especially out there now.
She's out there more.
Well, yeah, she'll go out and she'll see, are the tomatoes ripe? She made a marinara sauce with the tomatoes the other day. Made this spaghetti that she just really thought was good. So she's looking for that, looking are the zucchini. She doesn't want the, zucchini will creep up on you, Brian, if you don't watch them.
Do you remember years ago you had us over for dinner at your house prior to this?
Yeah. I
And-
remember what I served. Go ahead.
And Dana and I were like, gosh, this is the best meal ever. And we assumed, Tiger, that John cooked it, like from scratch.
I did cook it.
But
From scratch.
John was very forthcoming, and he said, it's Bertolini.
Bertoli's.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from that moment on,
No.
we continued to buy it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you took his Italian card away.
but it had shrimp, I think. I think this had shrimp. I think it might have had shrimp. I'm not sure. But because they have several varieties.
Yeah.
But this goes back, I don't know, 10 years or whatever it was. And to this day, when we grocery shop, we make sure to buy it. All because of you.
It's so easy too, right? You just dump it in a pan,
Yeah.
let it melt, and it's ready to go.
And if you told people that I spent most of the day making this, they'd believe you. It's like, okay.
I had this friend who was Italian, and she used to talk about her mom makes her own pasta sauce. It's so delicious, and she'd always be so critical whenever we go out to
Of course,
eat
of course.
Italian food, right?
Italians have a tendency to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I remember one time I went over to her house for dinner, and her mom was cooking. And her mom used some
Just like out of a
pasta
can?
sauce out of a can.
Like ragu.
Yeah, exactly. And I was all excited to come over and have this homemade.
Was this your girlfriend at the time?
No, it's just a friend.
Yeah.
But I was all excited to have this wonderful home cooked Italian. She'd been talking up her mom's cooking so much, and I was excited to come over and eat this dinner. And it
Was she aware that her mother used store
so
bought?
so I don't necessarily think her mom used it all the time. Meaning I think
Okay,
that she
yeah.
did grow up with her mom cooking
Right.
sauce. I think it was just she's having people over.
It's
She
easy,
didn't-
it's quick.
She didn't want to maybe do the whole what does a pasta sauce usually take? A day, right? Don't you have to
Yeah.
start it in the
I
morning?
make the
and
world's best not the world's best. That's exaggerating. But I make
Congratulations.
really good pasta sauce, and it takes a day.
You know what I make that's really good that I envision myself selling it, is tartar sauce.
You make a tartar sauce?
I make it.
What is
tartar-
in a tartar
but,
sauce?
But it's with things you have in your cupboard already.
right. Well, isn't it just mayo, eggs, and vinegar or something?
That's not, mine's different. You
What
got
is-
the mayo part.
Do you
Okay.
use cream of tartar?
No, I don't do
What is
any
what
of
is
that.
in
And
tartar sauce? What is it?
Well, it can be, the mine's a bit sweeter because I put relish in it.
Okay.
Okay, so if you go to the store, some of those are not quite as sweet.
And you can get sweet, or you can get
right.
other relishes. Yeah.
So it's Brian's world famous tartar sauce, and I got a picture of the globe and a spinning wheel on it.
This is
That's
actual,
my marketing.
or this
That's
is
my
in your-
marketing fantasy. Brian's world famous. I love it when people say world famous.
Yeah.
Which means nothing. Anyway, we got to take a break.
All right.
So much for my tartar sauce. Back after these messages, our final message break on Biz Talk Radio. We're ready to go. Final segment. Hey, this is almost like going to Mars and hoping you get back home safely.
We're gonna make this one our best.
So,
our best.
so right
segment.
now we're coming back home from Mars, and we're right around the moon. So, which means we have 250,000 miles to go between the moon and the Earth.
you were
not
you were
very-
watching that Matt Damon movie, weren't you?
Oh, what was that? That was years
Martian.
ago. Martian? No, it's just a silly analogy.
By the way, Lisa in Reading agrees with Tiger. She goes, yeah, I'm not using black mulch here in Reading. But Reading's,
A little hotter.
a lot hotter.
I think it looks good though. I like the
Yeah.
way that if you had different variations of colors right on top of it, it would really have a stark contrast.
Well, you get the variation with flower petals and
And,
leaves
and
falling
you know
all over.
what? You know what's so funny is people's vision of mulch and what it does to the garden. I was driving through where was I? I was up north in Escondido, and
that's
I
south.
saw,
If you're John, that's south.
yeah, and I saw this guy laying down brown. So there's the black, brown, and red
Right.
mulches that we're describing, and he was laying down brown bags of it over old brown mulch in his front yard, and it really did make it pop a lot
Right.
cleaner. I could see the clear line between here's the old, here's the new. And I mean, this was a big area. This was like a whole front yard he was doing. And, you know, it just made me think, like, at some point in time, he drove up to his house and was like, that brown mulch looks old. I'm going to get new and put it over my whole yard. And
Well, you're driving by, or you stopped to observe this?
no, I'm just driving by. Because, I mean, you know, I mean, it was a big area. And I could see he
And
was.
you're driving in traffic, and you're looking at.
No. This was through like a neighborhood.
Okay,
I was going like 20
got
miles
it.
an hour.
Okay, all right.
But you know, at some point in time, he was like, this weekend or this week, I'm gonna make my, because he was doing it out of the back of like a minivan. So he's like, I'm gonna make my 20 trips to the store to buy 10 bags a time to start laying over this whole area. And you know, but it did look nice. It did look nice. So,
But you know, after a while, you kind of get used to the way it looks because it fades
Right.
over time. It's like this last week. I had to get a new what do you call those things that you plastic over the rug that your chair slides on? A mat, like a plastic mat.
Oh, yeah,
When you're
yeah,
on
yeah.
carpet,
You're
so
on
that
car-
your
so
office chair will slide.
Yeah.
So I because it was cracking, years of use. So this is in my office. So I removed it, and
It's all the weight that you put on it.
and under the rug underneath there was like brand new.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around
It's
going,
like when you move the couch.
yeah, it's like I didn't. The rug looks good, but not like this because this is like brand new because it had the plastic mat over
Yeah.
it for all these years, and I'm like, well, there's nothing I can really do. I mean,
No.
I'm not going to bring it to look like the rug looks like. It's like we have. John is responsible for us having bamboo hardwood floors because when I was redoing the house and renovating years ago, John said, "Oh, you ought to consider bamboo floors." Like, you know what? So I did. But we have area rugs over a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you remove the area rugs, you go, oh, that's what the floor used to look like. Very
Yeah.
bright and shiny, and
Yeah.
over time it dulls. So this guy that you're talking about, unless he had something to compare it with, you kind of get used to the way it looks.
Yes.
And you don't
exactly.
realize when you do what he did, this is what it's supposed to look like.
Right.
Now, is that because of rain, weather, sun, all the elements
All of it.
affects it?
And leaves, like it was in an area where there's trees. So, you know, obviously there's foliage dropping down into that mulch,
Right.
and which will also make it look a little bit not as clean. I will say though, the other thing that I don't agree with that mulch is that it doesn't break down as quickly, which is, you know, to some people that's what it's designed
Right.
for. It would have been better for him to rake out the old stuff,
Yes.
remove it, and put down the new stuff, because now he's just piling wood chips upon wood chips upon wood chips, and you know, over time, that's not the best thing.
So would you say it's worth, if you didn't want to do that, it's just worth it to hire someone and take all the old out and put the new in?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, kind of the older you get, you realize, you know, I'm just going to pay someone to do this. I don't want to do
It
this.
depends on what your feeling is.
Well, how
Yeah.
big? But
If
but
you're in
yeah,
a hotter area, a thicker layer of mulch
Isn't
keeps some
horrible.
moisture in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're on the coast and you want it to, and your purpose is to have it look neat, like
Yeah.
if you live on a quarter acre or less, is different than if you live on 3.5 acres.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Question for Brian from Carla. She wanted to know if the Bertolli you were talking about was like the Bertolli olive oil.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing. Same
Yep.
company, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And
So John's responsible for that and my bamboo floors. See, we learned a lot today.
Yeah.
you blame a lot of things on me.
Blame. This is giving you full credit.
By the
because
way,
it's life changing.
Paula in Fallbrook.
We got about a
pointed
minute and a
out
half,
that
by
it
the
is
way.
till the end of the show.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Peter Haya.
Oh,
Remember,
So
you walk
for-
by your friend
for dragon
Peter.
fruit.
Hiya.
And then quickly, Millie in Napomo. I'm not sure if we should allow her to listen to the show anymore
uh-oh.
because she said that her husband makes the best.
Tartar sauce or
No, the
spaghetti sauce?
The best spaghetti sauce.
Oh,
But you know what,
goodness.
Millie? What type of sauce? That's the point. Is it a bolognese? I make a bolognese sauce. There are different
Is
types.
that the one with meat in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's other types of sauce. You know.
Is it bolognese or bolognese? You pronounce the S?
yeah,
Okay.
it's Italian.
Okay.
Bolognese. So
There's
So
different
anyway,
ones.
There's different
We have
sauces.
categories that we can fall into.
And it's all right if her husband wants to make the best of marinara sauce or something. No, it depends on. There's different parts of Italy, and you guys both know this from being
Yeah, there's
there.
northern. Northern is the white sauce, and then the red sauce, or vice versa, right?
Oh, well, it gets hotter the further south you go in Italy.
Spicy?
Spicier. Yeah.
They put pepper in it at all? Like peppers, or is it just
No.
from like pepper seasoning?
No down south.
Yeah, like how do they get it spicier?
Oh, they use spicy
Like
meats, like sausages in their
Oh,
hot
okay.
sausages.
Okay,
and
well,
things
we
like
got we
that.
got to start wrapping it up.
Wow.
Well, how about that?
Let's come back next week.
Let's
because
come
do
back
it.
next week
got a
and
lot
try to
more that we didn't cover.
yeah, and reenact the same thing.
all right.
Second verse, same as the first.
Send your pictures to john@gardenamerica.com. We'll try to get them in the newsletter.
Yes.
And I apologize. We had a lot come
Well,
in this
John's
week.
got an overabundance right
yeah,
now.
I
so
couldn't get everybody's
there
in.
there could be a waiting time. Hey, for the entire crew, I want to thank Stephanie on Biz Talk Radio, Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco. I'm Brian Main. Have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We are back in studio next week right here on Garden America. Until then, John, get growing, something like that. Get growing. Take care.